All right, so onto the feature fight. Coming off the highlight moment of the night, arguably of the decade, we had Max versus Gaethje. Now, we all saw the viral KO at the end. The fight was, I mean, it was unbelievable. We spoke about this on another video. We obviously know that the judges' scorecards were all over the place, but I'm going to ignore that because that was ridiculous. It was just a stupid... There's no way it was 2-2 going into that fifth round. What did you have it at that point? Say the fight had gone to the end. How would you have scored it?
4-1. And if they would have said it was 50-45, I wouldn't have betted an eye, to be honest. But I had it 4-1. I gave Gaethje one of those rounds. I can't remember which one it was. It may have been the one where he dropped him. I think it was a knockdown round. And it wasn't just because of the knockdown. I thought that Justin Gaethje did some good work in that round. But otherwise, Max dominated him.
I had 4-1.
Completely dominated him.
I thought it was complete, domination. He was far better.
Yeah.
Looked faster. Was landing a lot more. Yeah. So again, what would you do with those two?
Oh man. You know what? Like, I got on this entire card, I think I got like four fights wrong. 4 or 5, maybe 4. And
you had a good night as well.
It was pretty good. Of the ones that I got right, that I was just the most happy about, this is clearly the one that I was the most happy about. And if y'all go back and look at our previous videos, I was so adamant about the options and the chaos that Max winning would cause. And now we're here. Now, I didn't think that he was going to do it like that, but just the options that he has. What if, and this is what I think he should do. He might as well go ahead and fight ILIA TOPURIA. Go ahead and get that out of the way. Because that's a fight that would be a big fight. ILIA's got a lot of steam rolling with him, and Max has all the steam rolling with him. The blessed train is already out, is gone. So I think that would be a big fight. If Max wins that fight, and this is kind of a question to you, if Max wins that fight, so he's got the BMF belt, and then he would have the featherweight belt. Do you think that anybody would have an issue with him at that point saying, I want to fight whoever wins out of Islam and Poirier? No. Who says no to that? Who could tell Max no at that point? I feel like he would have almost Conor level power at that point to just pick whatever. Because at that point, the fights that he would want would either be whoever the lightweight champion is or Alexander Volkanovski. He wants that one back. So, he's one win away from having some of the most power that anybody has seen in picking the matchup that he wants. And that's crazy to get that from a fight for a belt that most people don't even think is real. So I got Max against ILIA TOPURIA. And then for Justin Gaethje, this one sucked for him. This one really sucked. And I thought about this one. I could have him fight, you can have him fight a contender, but I just don't know that that's what he wants to do anymore. I think that right now, as we speak, I think Justin is thinking long and hard on whether he wants to continue doing this. I think he might retire.
So, you think he might retire?
I think he might retire, man. Yeah. I think he's thinking about it because
he's taken a lot of damage over the years.
Lots. So, excuse me. I think that him fighting his way back to the belt is kind of something that he doesn't really want to do anymore. And, you obviously can't blame him. So, What else is there to do? There's only one other fight that I think that would be super interesting to him, and it's the fight that everybody's interested in. It's the fight against Connor. That's the only fight. If Connor wins against Chandler, Justin Gaethje. That's the fight I can see. Other than that, I think he calls it a day.
And I wouldn't blame him. The amount of bonuses he's picked up, the amount of money he's made, the amount of damage he's taken, it might be best for his future if he does. I'm not against that. I'm really not. The thing is, like, I'm a bit. The main thing and the main talking point for this one is Max, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's for the reasons that you said. Now, the obvious choice would be for Max to go down to 145 again and have a crack at the featherweight title, and I'm with you. But I think, like, at his age now, and obviously him taking the time to bulk up correctly to 155, and he looked fantastic at that weight class.
Yeah, he did.
He looked great. Let me ask you a question just as a sidebar. If and remember we talked about them both being auditions. If both himself and Sarukian waited to fight the winner of Makhachev and Poirier, who do you think, if they both said, we want that fight, who do you think would get the nod?
It would depend on who won.
No, I mean, like, I don't mean in terms. Oh, you mean in terms of who won between Poirier and Makhachev?
Yeah.
You'll
Because if Makhachev wins,
you are unbelievable, you know.
Dude, listen.
Unbelievable.
If Makhachev wins, then you give that to Sarukian. I mean, obviously Max has all the push behind him at this point, but you would give to Sarukian because of their previous fight. If Poirier wins, it's almost the similar situation. He's got 2 wins over Max, and stylistically, the UFC knows, okay, we already know. It's almost like we're getting a bonus BMF fight this time for a real belt. And there's the history. There's the history. Like, I know, I'm a Poirier fan, of course, but
the
like,
problem with what you're saying is that Poirier is not going to beat Makhachev. You can't really think
if he
he's got a
does,
chance.
no, I think he's going to lose. I think he's going to lose. I'm realistic, but that, to me, that would be a cleaner path for Max to get to that. Because realistically, I think that if Max fights Makhachev, do we really think he's going to win?
No, we don't. But I don't think this is the thing, because of the way that I know that Sarukian beat Oliveira, who is, if you beat Oliveira, you deserve a title shot. But the thing is, Gaethje was just as deserving, and in my mind, the issue that Sarukian has is that his win over Olives was seen as more contentious, whereas Holloway beat the fuck out of Gaethje and then knocked him out.
Yeah.
So I feel like that, from what I was saying prior to the event, with them both being auditions, I think that the problem with Sarukian turning down that fight is that he's kind of put his career in other people's hands now. He's put it he certainly put it in Makhachev's hands, because we don't know what Makhachev's going to do. He's not the most regular, but also, if he waits, he could get bypassed. Like,
he could.
If I was Max, I'd use what credit in the bank I've made to go for a legacy definer and go for the belt against Makhachev, and I'd do it towards the end of the year, because he's been really active along the whole way. If I was Max, I would say to the UFC right now, I'd take that fight, and then I'd spend the next 5 months training specifically to deal with what Makhachev brings, because he does have very good takedown defense, and I think striking wise, he's I don't think we could doubt he's a better striker than Makhachev. He is, right?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think we can doubt that.
Clear.
The speed, man, it'll be the same situation with the speed. It'll be the same situation.
If Max could spend the entire time keeping away from the takedowns as much as possible. And all he's got to do is keep away for 3 rounds. If he gets taken down in 2, very hard to submit, very hard to beat, very hard to take down, period. Max is a very good mixed martial artist all round. And I think that this is what he needs to do, because my issue with Max now is I don't think he should go back down to 145. Not at his age, and I don't think it's worth the risk going down there and again, he's fighting a shorter, stockier guy who looks like a murderer right now, who's fast as well.
Yeah.
I think that it's not worth it. He's already been featherweight champion. Why not use the money that you've got in the bank now to say, because the exclamation mark on Max's career would be, imagine if somehow he gets the Makhachev fight and finds a way to win 3 rounds out of 5, which is not ridiculous.
It would be,
because with his style, it could be. Max does better against fighters who are his height.
and I will agree with you. Like him beating Makhachev or him beating Topuria, it's not even close. Like
No,
him beating Makhachev
might as well take
is
the risk.
such a bigger legacy defining moment for him.
Who's likely to do more damage to him? Think about it from a reserving your brain as well. If he fights Makhachev and loses, the likelihood is he's going to get taken down. He might take a little bit of ground and pound. He might get submitted, maybe. If he loses to Topuria, it's very likely that he not only loses, he gets fucking knocked out. Because Topuria's got that. That's what he does. And again, it's a stylistic thing. I think the Makhachev legacy fight is more interesting. You get the chance to be a 2-weight world champion. And I think the prospect of getting damaged more is less in the Makhachev fight. Even though I think Makhachev's a better fighter than Topuria. All round, I'd say at this point, say that. He's more potentially dominant. I think legacy-wise, the Makhachev fight makes more sense. And right now, Holloway is in a position to ask for whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
They can't tell him no for anything. If he says he wants anyone, I don't think they can say no. He's the guy right now. He's the one who emerged from the biggest event ever as the highlight moment.
The highlight over the highlight. Yeah.
Yeah, like as for Gaethje, I'm with you. Like the retirement wouldn't surprise me. He got so badly fucked over by, Ali Abdulaziz. I don't even want to get started on this guy. He is such a weaselly little scumbag. And it's very clear to me that he fucked over his own fighter, because Gaethje said he didn't want to fight Holloway. It was never on his radar. And not only was he kind of coerced into taking that fight, he's a grown man, he makes his own decisions. But then your other client is suddenly available and is taking another fight. The guy that you beat fucking head kick KO'd him, and he's getting a title fight. And your manager set that up. Like, I think that it doesn't surprise me if Ali, he is a disgraceful human. And every time that guy posts something on Twitter, I just head straight there and I say something rude. I can't help it. If you look through my feed, you'll see like 10 or 12 tweets, and then you'll see I've said something rude to Ali, and it will be another gap, and then I just can't help myself. I think he's a cunt. I'd love to make I want to make a video on him one day. I want to spend.
And everybody hates.
And everybody hates one. See, if he was a fighter, he would have been my first target. I hate Ali Abdulaziz. I think he's a scumbag. But it's as you said, Gaethje is now suddenly further away from a title fight than before he fought Poirier, which is mental. Which is so unfair. He's older now. He's taken a lot of damage. I do think I mentioned that he should fight Olives next, maybe just as a fun fight. But it's, again, as you said, I'm changing my mind mid video now, which will make the last video I made completely and utterly void. People will look at that and be like, you said he should fight Olives, and now you're like, I think maybe wait things out and see if you can get that McGregor fight.
Yeah,
because he's
I
beaten
mean,
everyone. He's beaten
yeah,
Poirier.
he's. Hmm.
He's beaten Fiziev.
Yep, yep.
He's had a great
I mean,
career, and like you don't want to. If there's anyone I'm worried about CTE wise, and I don't even like Justin Gaethje, but I don't want to see him. You know, we get interviews of him 10 years from now, and he's like slurring, and I don't want to see
drooling
that
all over
happen.
the place. Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
no,
want to see
of
that.
course not.
And I mean, if you think about it, his striking differential was negative going into this fight. Imagine what it's like now.
It's not positive now. It's not the way that math works.
No, no. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. I would say maybe wait it out. He definitely needs to take time off. And like I
Yeah,
said, if I'm Holloway, I'm going right. I've got time to prepare for. I know I'm going to be better in the striking than Islam. Maybe I can get a little bit more working on that takedown defense. Keep it, and then be ready for that. Because you look great at 155, and again,
I
it's a
can't
legacy
argue with
fight.
that. I cannot argue with that. That is a better legacy fight than beating somebody for a belt you already had.
And it's a fresh matchup for Makachev. Makachev might find
Yeah,
that more appealing as well because he'd probably be like, I already beat Sarukian. Like
yeah, it's true.
you don't want to look through your resume and it's like, yeah, I fought Volk twice, which is obviously great because it's Volk. But now I fought I don't know, now I fought Sarukian twice, and you just see a lot of the same names scattered throughout his, because it will be a criticism that he gets. He wants to have as many while he's in his prime, I'm assuming, fresh
Hmm.
matchups. And
Yeah,
because it's a bigger legacy fight to get Holloway on your record is
yeah,
better than getting Sarukian again.
yeah. That's a bigger scout for sure.
So I think yeah, Sarukian could be the one who ends up getting fucked in all of this, which is why he maybe should have taken that fight when it was given to him. I know it was 7 weeks notice, but he might not get it again. We'll see.